On a dreary afternoon, the rain was pattering against the windows of a small, cozy home tucked away in the countryside. The owner of the home was a young woman named Sarah, who loved nothing more than curling up with a good book and a warm cup of tea on days like this. Her home was a haven from the storm outside, with soft blankets and comfortable pillows scattered throughout the living room. As she sat in her favorite armchair by the crackling fireplace, she couldn't help but feel grateful for the comfort and safety her home provided on this rainy day. Outside, the rain was pouring down in sheets, pummeling against the window panes and creating a rhythmic percussion that filled the entire house. The low rumble of thunder growled in the distance, accentuating the comforting patter of the rain. The sound echoed off the roof and trickled down the gutters, creating a tranquil symphony that enveloped Sarah in a cocoon of tranquility. Even though the storm outside was raging, Sarah felt perfectly content nestled in her warm and cozy home, embraced by the gentle cadence of the rain. Sarah savored the warmth of the fire, letting its flickering light dance across her face. She took a deep breath, inhaling the rich aroma of the tea she held in her hand, letting it fill her senses. She looked around the room, admiring the way the soft light of the candles illuminated her knickknacks and photographs, casting familiar shadows among them. Settling deeper into her armchair, she pulled the thick blanket up to her shoulders, feeling its soft texture against her skin. With a contented sigh, she opened her book and began to read, eager to lose herself in its pages. As she immersed herself in the story, the storm outside raged on, but she was safe and dry at her little haven, content to while away the hours in peaceful solitude. Sarah had always loved the comfort found in wearing warm clothing and comfortable pants. So, on this rainy day, she slid off her loungewear and rummaged through her closet, searching for just the right cozy ensemble to wear. Finally, her hand landed on a soft, blue cashmere sweater, her favorite one for days when the weather was chilly. She pulled it out of the closet and pulled it over her head, the plush fabric sliding over her skin and sending goosebumps down her arms. Next, she reached for a pair of fleecy, light gray sweatpants and slipped them on, relishing in the soft material that clung to her legs. With a satisfied grin, she made her way back to her favorite armchair, feeling just as good as she looked. The sweater and sweats were the perfect outfit for a rainy day spent lost in her own thoughts, books, and daydreams. Wearing cozy clothes on a rainy day was Sarah's favorite way to take comfort in a world that could sometimes feel overwhelming. The gentle murmur of the raindrops on the roof paired perfectly with the softness of the fabric against her skin, cocooning her in a sense of safety and warmth. It was as if the clothes she wore became her own personal blankets, wrapping around her like a second skin and easing any tension she might be feeling. The warm sweater and sweatpants hugged her curves and moved in time with her body, almost as if they knew exactly what she needed. It was a simple pleasure, but one that never failed to make her feel content and secure on those rainy days. The comfort of cozy clothes was an easy escape, a way to reduce stress and anxiety in a world that could be so fast-paced and chaotic. As Sarah settled onto the cozy couch, she arranged the fluffy cotton blanket around her, already feeling its warmth enveloping her like a hug from an old friend. She reached for the bowl of popcorn, feeling the gentle crackle of the kernels underneath her fingertips. The aroma of the freshly popped corn filled her nostrils, making her mouth water with anticipation. With a smile, she hit play on her favorite movie, already feeling the stresses of the day begin to melt away. As the film flickered across the screen, she allowed herself to be swept away in its magic, popping a kernel of popcorn into her mouth every so often with satisfaction. The cozy blanket cradled her in its soft embrace, its warmth radiating through her body. It was moments like these that kept her grounded, that allowed her to take refuge from the world and simply be. The gentle crunch of the popcorn filled the room, the popcorn bowl gradually emptying as the movie progressed. When her eyes began to droop from contentment, she knew it was time to retire to bed, relishing the comfort of the evening spent with her favorite snack and her favorite movie. What was better than watching movies on a cozy day inside? For Sarah, it was the ultimate comfort, a chance to escape from the outside world and sink into another world entirely. It was the perfect way to spend a rainy day, with the pitter-patter of the raindrops outside providing a soothing backdrop to the sound of the movie. As she settled onto the comfortable couch, cocooned in a warm blanket, the stresses and worries of the day seemed to melt away. The screen flickered to life, the characters coming to life in front of her, and she was lost in the story. Whether it was a comedy, a romance, or a thriller, the movie always had the ability to draw her in and whisk her away. With a bowl of popcorn by her side, she felt content and at peace, surrounded by all the things that brought her joy. The cozy atmosphere wrapped around her like a warm embrace, and she felt like she could stay this way forever, enveloped in the comfort of the indoors. Movies on a cozy day inside felt like a sweet escape, a chance to recharge and get lost in the magic of cinema. The movie that Sarah was watching was one of her favorites, and she felt a sense of excitement every time she put it on. It was a classic romantic comedy, with a lovable cast of characters who always seemed to find themselves in hilarious situations. As the opening credits began to roll across the screen, she settled into the couch, already feeling a smile spreading across her face. The story was familiar to her, but it never lost its charm, its humor, or its infectious energy. The characters were like old friends, and she always found herself immersed in their world, eagerly awaiting their next misadventure. As the movie progressed, she found herself laughing along with the characters, tears of joy pricking at the corners of her eyes. It was a movie that always left her feeling happy and uplifted, no matter how many times she watched it. As the movie came to its sweet conclusion, she savored the bittersweet feeling of saying goodbye to the characters she had grown to love. But she knew that they would always be there, waiting for her next time she needed an escape from the world. As the movie came to an end, Sarah realized that she was tired of watching movies. As much as she loved losing herself in the stories and characters on the screen, she needed something different. She wanted to indulge in a different kind of storytelling, one that would allow her to exercise her imagination and dive deeper into the world of the characters. She reached for the stack of books on the side table, scanning the titles until one caught her eye. It was a suspense novel, filled with intrigue and drama, and she felt the thrill of anticipation as she cracked open the first page. The words spilled forth, painting a vivid picture in her mind, and she was swept away in the story. The chapters flew by, and she lost track of time as she delved deeper into the pages. With each turn of the page, she felt a sense of accomplishment and excitement, like she was unlocking another clue in a mystery. The static world around her felt alive with possibility, fueled by the power of her imagination. As the night wore on, she felt her mind awaken, invigorated by the endless possibilities of the written word. She savored the feeling of finishing each chapter, the thrill of anticipation for what would happen next. For Sarah, reading was another form of comfort, one that nourished her mind and soul in a different way than movies ever could. The sound of rain outside was the perfect ambience for reading. As the gentle pattering of drops against the window pane washed over the room, Sarah felt a sense of contentment settle over her. It was the kind of sound that made everything feel just a little bit cozier, a little bit more intimate. Each drop seemed to create a symphony, a chorus of music that filled the silence around her. As she turned the pages of her book, she felt like the world outside was fading away, replaced by the vivid world on the page. The sound of the rain was like a gentle white noise, soothing her mind and allowing her to slip deeper into the story. The way the rain made everything outside dimmer and quieter was like a warm hug, a gentle reminder that she wasn't alone. It was like the world was giving her permission to engage in her favorite pastime, to lose herself in the magic of literature. With each passing minute, the rain seemed to wash away her worries and stress, leaving her feeling refreshed and renewed. Reading on a rainy day was the ultimate luxury, a chance to carve out some time for herself and indulge in the things that brought her joy. As she turned the last page of her book, she felt like she was saying goodbye to a dear friend, but she knew that there were countless more adventures waiting for her on the shelves. The book Sarah was reading was a thrilling detective novel that kept her on the edge of her seat. It followed the adventures of a young amateur sleuth named Emily who, armed with her wit and intelligence, was determined to solve a string of baffling murders. The writing was gripping and fast-paced, and Sarah found herself drawn into the story from the very start. She loved the way the author crafted the plot, expertly weaving together suspense, mystery, and just a touch of romance. Emily was a complex and compelling character, and Sarah was rooting for her every step of the way. As she read deeper into the book, she felt her heart racing with each new twist and turn, as Emily got closer and closer to the truth. It was the kind of book that kept her up late into the night, eager to unravel the mystery and see justice served. But it was also the kind of book that left her feeling a little bit sad when it was over, like saying goodbye to a group of friends she had grown to love. She knew that she would be thinking about Emily and her adventures for a long time to come, imagining what other mysteries she might solve in the future. For Sarah, this book was a testament to the power of storytelling, a reminder that a well-crafted tale could transport her to new worlds and ignite her imagination in ways she never thought possible. Just as Sarah was about to start a new book, she heard her doorbell ring. She got up from her cozy reading spot and went to answer it, finding her family and friends waiting on the other side. They had come over for a fun evening of games and laughter. As soon as she welcomed them in, her sister pulled out a board game, and everyone gathered around the table to play. It was a classic game, one they had played countless times before, but each match felt brand new. With each roll of the dice and move of the pieces, they laughed and joked, teasing each other and trash-talking their opponents. The sound of their laughter blended with the sound of the rain tapping against the window, creating a warm and joyful ambience that filled the room. For Sarah, it was nice to take a break from reading and spend quality time with the people she loved. As the hours passed by, they played one game after another, never growing tired of the friendly competition. The games brought out their competitive sides, but also their camaraderie and closeness. Each time they finished a game, they hugged and high-fived, already looking forward to the next one. As the night wore on, they didn't even notice the rain outside had grown stronger, but they didn't mind. Together, they created a world of their own, one where laughter and warmth prevailed, and nothing else mattered. As the game began, the fun and competitive spirit filled the air. The players sat around the table, each with their own unique strategy and game plan. They rolled the dice, moved their pieces, and made their moves with precision and skill, refusing to yield to their opponents. The competition was fierce, but it was all in good fun, and everyone was laughing and joking as they played. Each move was met with cheers or groans, depending on whether it was a lucky break or a devastating setback, but the game was always moving forward. The players were determined to win, but they didn't let the pressure get to them. Instead, they relished the excitement and adrenaline that came with the competition, pushing themselves to be the best they could be. As they played, they joked and teased each other, but deep down they were all proud of each other's skills. The game brought out the best in them all, as they each strove to outdo one another. As the game reached its climax, the tension grew, and everyone's eyes were fixed on the board. It was a fight to the finish, with each player vying for the coveted title of the winner. But no matter who won, they all knew that it didn't matter because they had all enjoyed themselves so much. In the end, the winner was cheered and celebrated, but everyone knew that the real victory was the laughter and joy they had shared together. As the game progressed, there were several funny moments and comical conversations that occurred. Emily, in a moment of carelessness, accidentally knocked a few pieces off the board, prompting her brother to tease her mercilessly. "Nice move, Emily. Next time, try not to break the game," he joked, causing everyone to burst out laughing. Emily retaliated by throwing a playful jab at her brother's strategy, suggesting he wasn't doing so well because he was too focused on impressing the cute guy across the table. The cute guy, blushing furiously, tried to defend himself, but it only made the situation even funnier. Another amusing moment came when Max, their family friend, insisted on singing a silly song every time he rolled the dice. The group would immediately break into laughter, and Max would respond by grinning from ear to ear and continuing with his tune. Despite the lighthearted comedy, the game remained competitive, and everyone played to win. But at the end of the day, they all knew that it was the laughter and companionship that mattered most in the end. Their game night had transformed into a wonderful memory, full of laughters and warmth, that would stay with them forever. As the day drew to a close, Sarah found herself reflecting on the events of the day. It had been a rare and unexpected treat to spend an entire day indoors with loved ones, enjoying each other's company and playing games. As she sat on the couch, listening to the rain outside, Sarah felt a sense of calm and contentment wash over her. She thought about the games they had played, the jokes they had shared, and the memories they had created. It was one of those days that didn't need to be filled with elaborate plans or grand gestures to be enjoyable. It was just a day spent with the people she loved, doing simple things, and laughing until her sides hurt. Sarah knew that in the grand scheme of things, this day might not seem like a big deal, but it was these small moments that made life worth living. She was grateful for the laughter, the warm companionship, and the cherished memories that would last a lifetime. As she settled in for the night, Sarah knew that even though the day was over, the joy and love that filled it would stay with her long after the rain had stopped and the sun had risen. Rainy days can often be gloomy and bleak, but there's something magical about spending them indoors. Inside, there's a sense of comfort and coziness that is hard to find on bright and sunny days. As the rain beats steadily against the windows, the atmosphere becomes more peaceful and serene, almost like the world is taking a pause from its usual chaos. Inside, everything feels a little more intimate and close-knit, as if the house is wrapping its warm embrace around you. The soft lighting adds to the ambience, casting a warm golden glow over everything. The soft patter of rain provides a soothing soundtrack, perfect for curling up with a good book or enjoying a cup of tea with friends. The comfort of a cozy sweater, a favorite blanket, and a good book can be a perfect way to while away the long rainy hours. No matter the activity, spending a day inside in the rain can provide a sense of peace and relaxation that is hard to find in the hustle and bustle of everyday life. So as the rain continues to fall outside, it's hard not to feel grateful for the warm comforts of home on this lazy, quiet day. As the rain continued to pour outside, Sarah realized the value in spending quality time indoors with family and friends. With everyone's schedule so packed and busy, it was easy to let the days and weeks slip by without seeing each other. However, spending a day indoors playing games and sharing stories reminded her of the importance of taking a break from the chaos to simply enjoy each other's company. Watching Max sing and dance to every roll of the dice, and listening to Emily and her brother bicker over who was winning brought a smile to everyone's faces. Small moments like these, spent with the people we love, are what make life worth living. Another valuable lesson learned was the importance of being present in the moment. Without the distractions of work or social media, everyone was able to focus on the games they were playing and the conversations they were having. By being fully present, they were able to appreciate and enjoy each other's company all the more. As the night drew to a close, Sarah felt grateful for this special day spent indoors with loved ones. They had forged deeper connections and made cherished memories that would last a lifetime. She knew that the rain outside might stop, but the warmth and love shared inside would continue to burn brightly in her heart forevermore. As the night wore on, the sounds of laughter and conversation began to slowly fade away, replaced by the gentle patter of rain tapping against the windows. Sarah felt a sense of contentment settle over her as she listened to the soothing rhythm. As the last of her friends left, she slowly made her way to bed, feeling tired but happy. As she snuggled under the covers, she couldn't help but replay the events of the day in her mind, still smiling at the memories. She thought about the jokes they had shared and the delicious food they had eaten. But mostly, she thought about the love and warmth they had all shared on this rainy, cozy day. As the sound of the rain grew softer and softer, she drifted off into a peaceful sleep, feeling grateful and content. The rain outside may stop, but the memories of this day would stay with her forever. As Sarah woke up the next morning to the sound of birds chirping outside, she felt a sense of gratitude wash over her. She couldn't help but feel thankful for the rainy day before, and the opportunity it had given her to spend quality time with loved ones. As she got ready for the day ahead, she thought about the lessons she had learned and the memories they had created. She vowed to make more time for rest, relaxation, and connection with her loved ones. Life can get so hectic sometimes, but it's important to intentionally make space for the things that truly matter. As she walked outside to start her day, she breathed in the fresh air and felt the sun on her face. She couldn't wait for the next opportunity to curl up inside with a good book, cozy blanket, and the sound of rain outside. She knew that life would inevitably throw her more curveballs, but for now, she was grateful for the peace and tranquility of those rainy hours shared with her friends.